Hey there! Today we'll have a look at a pen by Visconti, and the pen was lent to me by Appelboom Pennen. It comes in this rather boring white sleeve, but in the sleeve is an interesting box. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then we'll do a writing sample. Okay, this box, Visconti box, has a little drawer you can pull out, and in there is a little information booklet that's full of color and stuff. A lot of fun. It pops open, and then you have that pen. Okay, what makes this pen interesting? Two things. One, limited edition, and two, it is a crescent-filler. The crescent-fillers, they go way back. They've been around for a long time, and Visconti has recently launched a couple of pens in this filling system, which, if I'm not mistaken, was invented by Conklin. I want to say Conklin. Okay, let's cover this pen then. This pen, it looks a lot like the old Van Gogh, the Van Gogh model. Not the new ones, but the old ones, except I think those were not crescent fillers, but they had a cartridge converter. I'll come back to crescent. Alright, let's first cover the pen. Top of the pen, finial, cap, there is nothing really. There is a screw to tighten your clip so that you can make it a bit looser or a bit tighter as to your preference. Then you have a broad center band that says Moonlight, and on the other side it says Visconti, and it says Florence, so Firenze below that. It's a nice material. I like that green, nice green swirls. And then you have that crescent filler, which also, it has nothing on that side, and on the other side it says Visconti. Okay, how does this work? It's very simple. You uncap the pen, the cap screws off, you dip the pen in a bottle of ink, you twist this plastic ring so that, I'll show you that, I'll make the camera focus in a sec, but I can't do both things at the same time. You see there's a little opening. You make sure that opening of the plastic ring lines up with this crescent thing. You put it in a bottle of ink, and then you squeeze this crescent. I'm not going to do it right now because there's ink in it, and to make sure I don't accidentally do that, I'm going to put that lock back on. So you see, just rotate that to lock it. Inside is a little latex, rubber, etc. sack, and because that crescent thing, the way it's constructed inside, it compresses the sack. Then it decompresses, and by doing that it draws up ink from the bottle. So there's no cartridge here, no converter, it's a built-in filling system. Okay, now we have a section. The section has the number on it. This happens to be number 148 of 200. And then you have the nib. This is the tubular nib, the Smart Touch nib made of chromium 18, which sounds like something from a comic. And it has the Visconti, it has Smart Touch, chromium 18, yes, and Visconti laser engraved on it. And then on the back is the nib grade. This is, I don't know if you can see that, but it has a little B for broad near the bottom there. It's not a huge pen. It's a, decently sized pen, but not huge. And if you want to, you can post it, but then it becomes really pretty big, and it's also not the securest posting mechanism. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, first of all, right now the crescent and the clip don't align, but I have found it's a little bit of fiddling, but you can actually make those two align. Just forgot what I came up with to how exactly. Anyway, well, that's all right. That's close enough. So they can align. So for those of you to who that kind of stuff matters, it's possible. You just need to fiddle a bit. Things I like about it. I like the material. I think it's very attractive. I like the shape of the section. Yes, it's metal, and a lot of people don't like metal sections, but with this hourglass shape, I think it's a very pleasant pen to hold. A little on the thin side, but very comfortable. So for me that's great. I really enjoy that. You have quite a couple of threads there, but they are not really sharp, so all of that works well. It's by no means a cheap pen, but then again it's a sort of exotic filling system, and it's limited edition. 200 pence is not that much, so that drives up the price. You can find that reasonable or not, but in any case, I think that's what the you know, where the price is coming from. Okay, now for me, there were two main issues with the pen. One is it blobbed. It blobs ink, and even now, as I'm sitting here, and I haven't really been violently shaking it around, you can see that there's quite a blob of ink on the feed right there. That wasn't there before, but it's there now. That's one issue. My other issue is, and that could be a pet peeve, I don't know, but these Smart Touch nibs from Visconti don't really do much for me. They're odd. The tubular design is odd. They're also they point upwards. Let me show you that from the side. You probably can't see it very well with this, but if you have the stub nib, you really see it, because that has no tipping, so you can really see that it's a nib like this, so it really goes up. That is also something that's not unique to Visconti. That has been done before, but I just don't know. I've had a lot of issues recently with Visconti's Palladium nibs. They required a lot of work, the ones I've tried. This one did write, so that's not the issue. I just don't find them that nice. They're quite rigid. They don't really yield as you write, so they make for a not so much scratchy, but you really, it's very hard when you write, and I don't like that much. As I said, that might be a personal thing. So that for me is an issue. Also, I would think that with a pen at this price, I would rather see either gold nibs, but Visconti doesn't do that much anymore, or palladium. I don't see why this has to be one of those chromium nibs, which are actually quite cheap. So I'm not very impressed by that. Okay, having said that, what we need to do, of course, is see how it writes. That's what we're going to do next. Measurements of the pen will be on the website, sbrebrown.com, as well as high-resolution pictures taken by gourmet pens. And let's see how it writes. Appelboom Pen, thanks a lot for borrowing this, Joost. I really appreciate it. And that's all there is to it. Oh, and of course, if you want to pick one up, I have a 10% discount code for Appelboom Pen on my website. Alright, let's do a writing sample. Hope this was useful so far, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go with the Visconti Moonlight. The nib is broad and the ink is almost blue. You probably did not see that, but if I turn my camera a little bit, you can see this ink blob which just flew out. And that, I think, is the biggest issue with this pen, that it really, you can see it again at the bottom of the feed, it just blobs ink, and I'm just writing normally with it. It's not scratchy, but especially for a broad. First of all, I don't really find this a broad nib, I find this more of a medium, which is an issue to me. And secondly, that ink blobbing is very annoying. I don't know if it's part of the construction. I have not had this with the Smart Touch stub I've used before, but I have heard other people complain about this, that the pen blobs, and I mean it's a fairly severe issue, I would say. Do some fast writing. As you can see, no skip, so that's good. Wetness. Almost blue is not the wettest ink in the world, but it's not really a wet nib, which is also my impression in normal writing. Line variation, not really much. These nibs are really quite hard, I find, although this one seems a little softer than the stub I had. Okay, reverse writing works well, actually very smooth, turning this medium into a fine. I don't see broad anywhere, to be honest. And that's it. So, Thanks a lot to Appelboom Pennen for lending me this pen. I appreciate it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.